This video is on applying area and perimeter formulas. So I will take some basic perimeter and area formulas for a rectangle, a square, a triangle, a parallelogram, and a trapezoid. I will not do circles in this particular video. So first of all, a rectangle. We have a rectangle here with a base. You have to identify the base. Actually, either one of these could be the base, but I'm going to let this be the base B. And this will be the height h. So as shown in a previous video, the area of a rectangle is base times height. So I replace B, I substitute for B, 3.5, and I replace h in the formula with 2. So now it's just 3.5 times 2. Decimal point one place to the left, so it's 7.0 or 7 square centimeters is the area of that rectangle. Then the perimeter is, I have two bases. Since the perimeter is a distance around, I have two of these lengths, B, and B is 3.5 again. I have two of these heights, which are 2, so two of those. So this is 2 times 3.5, which is we showed was 7, and this is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Add those up, and you get 11 centimeters. Remember, area is square units, because again, what we're saying here is the area is 7 square centimeters. In other words, I can fit in 7 squares that are 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter into this inside this rectangle. And then the perimeter is the distance around, so it's 11 centimeters, which is we call a linear unit because it is a length. Okay, a square is just a special case of a rectangle. S is the length of a side. All the sides are equal. So the area here is S squared, so I just replace S with 6.2, so I have 6.2 squared, which means 6.2 times 6.2. Let's do that multiplication. Let's do the math. 2 times 2 is 4, 6 times 2 is 12. Add a placeholder 0. 2 times 6 is 12. Carry a 1. 6 times 6 is 36 plus 1 is 37. Move decimal point 2 places to the left. So we get 38.44 square meters. So in other words, inside this square, I can fill that space with 38.44 squares that are 1 meter by 1 meter in dimension. And then the perimeter, since there's each of these sides is S and there's 4 of them, the perimeter is 4 times S, and S again is 6.2. So I take 4 times 6.2. Doing the math, I get 24.8 meters. So the distance around this is 24.8 meters. So next I have a parallelogram. And the sides of the parallelogram, well, the base is 11.8, so this also has to be 11.8. This side here is 20.9, so this has to be 20.9. This is inches. This is not the height, though. The height is, remember, the altitude, also called the altitude, is the distance from the highest point here. So we have it laying on a base. Here's the base. And it's the distance from the top to the base where it intersects at a right angle, where it intersects the base or an extension of the base, because actually the base is over here. We have to extend the base, but where the extension of the base and the height intersect at a right angle, there's your height, which is 9.5. So that's my height. This is my base, B. And in my formula for perimeter, I'm using A, so the other side here, these are A. So the area is base times height, so that's 11.8 times 9.5. So doing the math, that's 40, carry a 4. 1 times 5 is 5, plus 4 is 9. 1 times 5 is 5. Add a placeholder 0. Now 8 times 9 is 72, carry a 7. 9 times 1 is 7. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 7 is 16, carry the 1. 1 times 9 is 9, plus 1 is 10. Add the columns. And I get 1, 1, 2, 1, 0, but I have to move decimal point 2 places in my answer to the left, so I have 112.10, 112.1, and that's square inches. So that means inside this parallelogram I could fit 112.1 squares that are 1 inch by 1 inch in dimension. And then the perimeter is, the height is not part of the actual parallelogram in this case. The height is going to, the perimeter is going to be determined by the length of the sides. So 11.8 is B, and the other side is 20.9. We call that A. So 2 times 11.8 with decimal point 2 one place to the left, so that's 23.6 inches, and then I have 20.9 times 2. So that's 41.8. Now I need to add these two together. Line my decimal points up. That's 14, carry a 1. 1, 1, and 3 is 5. 4 and 2 is 6. So that's 65.4 inches is the perimeter of the parallelogram. Now we go to a triangle. In the case of a triangle, we have 3 sides. The base is going to be determined. Actually, any one of these 3 sides could be the base, but the base we're going to use is the one where the height intersects at a right angle. So the height intersects at a right angle right here. This is my height H. This has to then be the B that I'm going to use. So now the formula of triangle, the area of triangle is 1/2 base times height, so I replace B with 9.6, and I replace H with 3.1. Now I'm going to take half of 9.6. You could, if you can do this mentally, that's going to be 4.8. If you can't do it mentally, I'm sorry, that's not yet, it's 9.6, so this will be 4.8. Can't do it mentally, another way is you divide 2 into 9.6. You can do it this way. Bring your decimal point straight up. 2 goes to 9 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract. 9 minus 8 is 1. Bring down to 6. 2 goes to 16 8 times. So that's one way to get 4.8. Another way is to convert a half to a decimal. So 1/2 is 0.5. Again, you can see that using division. 2 goes into 1. Add a decimal point of 0. 2 does not go into 1. It goes in 0 times, but it goes into 10 5 times. So it's 0.5. So you could take 9.6 then times 0.5. And you get 480. Move decimal point 2 places, you get 4.8. If you can do it mentally, that's what you should work for, just being able to take half of something. But there's other ways to do it if you don't know how to take half of something very well. You could convert, either do the long division, divide 2 into 4.8, or multiply, change a half to 0.5, and then multiply that by 9.6. Then I could bring down to 3.1. And you could also have multiplied 9.6 times 3.1 first, get what that is, and then take half of that. Or you could take half of 3.1. That's a little harder. That would be 1.55, I believe. Let's just check that. It's probably not the easiest way to do this. So 2 goes to 3 once. 1 times 2 is 2. Subtract. 2 goes 11 5 times. 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract, add a 0. 2 goes into 10 5 times. You could do it that way and then take this result, 1.55, and multiply it by 9.6, and you get the same result as what we're going to get here. But that's probably not the best way to do this. It's up to you. So we take 4.8 times 3.1. to get our final result, and that's 48. Add a placeholder 0. 8 times 3 is 24. Carry a 2. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. And we get 14.88. And that's going to be square feet. So my point, if I had 1.55, so in other words, if I took half of 3.1, I then would take the 1.55 times 9.6, and I now do this multiplication, do the math. 5 times 6 is 30, carry a 3. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 3 is 33, carry a 3. 1 times 6 is 6, plus 3 is 9. Add a placeholder 0. 5 times 9 is 45, carry a 4. 5 times 9 is 45, plus 4 is 49, carry a 4. 1 times 9 is 9, plus 4 is 13. Add it up. Move my decimal point 3 places, and again I get 144.88. I'm sorry, I had to move it 3 places. I only moved it 2 there. Should have seen that. So I need to move it 1, 2, 3 places to the left. So get 14.880, which is the same as 14.88. So that's another way of doing that. And again, what this means is to fill the space inside the triangle, which is the area, I would need 14.88 squares that are 1 foot by 1 foot in dimension. Then the perimeter of the triangle, simply add the sum of the sides. So it's the sum of the sides. So I have 9.6. You'd call, this is B, I could call this A. I could call this B. So let's do it that way. So A is 7. B is 4.5. I'm sorry, B is 9.6. The way I've defined it here. And C is 7. I'm sorry. I have 2 A's here. A is this. This needs to be C right here. The way I'm doing this. Don't mean to confuse you. So A is 7, B is 4.5, and no, B is 9.6. The way I've defined it, and C is 4.5. The bottom line is you just need to add the 3 sides up. Okay, so the way I define it, A is 7, B is 9.6, and C is 4.5. So now you add them up. You need to put a decimal point after that 7. Because when you add, your decimal points must line up. Add a placeholder 0 there after that 7. Bring your decimal point down. 0, 6, and 5 is 11. Carry a 1. 1 and 7 is 8. Plus 9 is 17. Plus 4 is 21. Carry a 2. So that's 21.1 feet is the perimeter of the distance around the triangle. Okay, last we'll look at a trapezoid. So in the case of trapezoid, the area formula is 1/2 the height times the sum of the bases. And the height is going to be, this actually would be a right angle here also. The height intersects the bases at right angles, so I'll call this B sub 1, call this B sub 2, and this will be my height. So replace h with 5, b sub 1 with 2.8, and b sub 2 with 5.8. Now we do what's in the parentheses, 2.8 plus 5.8. Bring down your decimal point. Carry the 1, that's 8.6. So replace the sum here with 8.6. Bring the 5 down. That's what I'm saying with the arrow. Now I'm going to take half of 5. Well, half of 5 is 2.5. And then bring down the 8.6. So my area is going to be 2.5 times 8.6. 5 times 6 is 30, carry 3. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 3 is 15. Add a placeholder 0. 5 times 8 is 40, carry a 4. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 4 is 20. Let's move decimal point now. That's a 0. Move decimal point 2 places. There's a total of 2 places behind a decimal point in these two numbers, so move it 2 places to the left, so it's 21.50 or 21.5 square meters. That's supposed to be a 0 there. It is a 0, but it doesn't look like one. Okay. So this means inside this trapezoid I could fit 21.5 squares that are 1 meter by 1 meter. I cannot determine the perimeter here because, I cannot determine the perimeter here because I'm missing the length of this side. The height is not actually part of the trapezoid, the outside of the trapezoid. So I have 3 sides, but I'm missing the 4th, so I can't determine the perimeter. This concludes the video.